Alright, this is an after-game report for Inside, this side-scroller that I tried out that turned out to be pretty spooky. So this is where the game starts, and this, since I've completed the game, this is just where it automatically goes. But if I was to go to load, you can see here there are all these different checkpoints here. So the game, it's hard to say what the theme of the game is, except general spookiness. Very dystopian, but it's like it could be adults hunting kids dystopian, which is kind of what it turns, what it's like at the very beginning, like right here. At first you're like, oh, I'm a kid lost in the woods. Yeah, and then you have the adults hunting you and trying to shoot you, and you're like, okay, well, this sucks. Bad. You have all of these chambers here, these pods, people being loaded into trucks and carted away. And it only gets worse. So eventually you have dogs coming and chasing after you, and it's pretty gruesome. Like, the dogs tear you to shreds if they get you. These guys here in white masks. I've never actually just waited it out. If I wait it out, where do they go? Do they just disappear? Yeah, I guess they just disappear if you wait long enough. You can get shot, you can get stabbed, you can get torn to pieces by dogs. There's your first dog right there, your first dog encounter. And right here it's going to sniff the air. Oh, it didn't. That's weird. Normally it sniffs the air and it barks and starts coming at me. Oh, this is where I need the... There's like a block or a rock or something like that. Maybe it's a different place where it comes at me. These guys looking down here. Now this is definitely, there are dogs that come after me here because it's scary, or meant to be scary. Yep, here they come through the water. And the dog almost gets you, and you just barely get away. And those people in the van there, they're gonna follow you. But, so that's how the game starts off, and you're like, okay, well this is scary, being a kid chased by the government. It's like, you know, Stranger Things or E.T. or something like that. And then as the game goes, it gets worse and creepier on the level of, okay, so the government is, I don't know if this is the government or whatever, but it's adults, adult humans, kidnapping other adult humans and taking them away to, let's see here, This is one of those places where you can get shot. So we'll do this one right here. The adults are taking other adults away and like turning them into zombies. Not undead zombies, but like mindless, like even more mindless than Forrest Gump zombies. They just kind of stand around and do exactly as they're told. Creepy farm with all the like dead or dying pigs. So do we need to go one more further from this? Yeah. You jump into a pile of dead animals. Actually, I need to push it a little further. With all the kind of worm things sticking out there. And then you go into like all these skeletal, not entirely, are these pigs? These are, I think these are meant to be pigs, but like, yeah, they're not doing so hot, are they? Bunch of worms there in the water, slithering around. And let's see, yeah, so more of these worm things all over. Some kind of a blight or a plague, like a biblical plague. There's your first indication that, well, no, I mean, getting shot is a pretty clear indication that there's violence happening. But here's another indication. There's a big old hole in the windshield. Okay, so another spot right here. Another indication that things are amiss. All the people here just marching along mindlessly in perfect lockstep, and everybody watching them. So there's some kind of mindlessness or mind control or something going on. Yeah, so another part. This part of the story, like actually no part of the story, ever truly gets resolved. It just, you just continue and continue, and it gets creepier and creepier and creepier. Guy twitching there. And these machines, if they catch you, they spear you with like these little coiled up electric harpoons, and you instantly go limp. Watch this. Boing. And then it drags you away. I mean, I don't know what those machines are meant to be, but Yep, more people marching along. And here's your first mind control thing. That the little helmet with all the glowy yellow parts is a mind control thing. You put that on, and then you mind control any humans, any of the mindless kind of zombied humans who are around you. And there's a bunch of parts in the game where there are puzzles that you have to solve that you can't do yourself. You have to mind control somebody else, and then that other person solves it for you. And there are actually places where there are multiple levels. It's like Inception. There are like levels of mind controlling where you have to mind control somebody, send him over to a second mind control thing, and then that person mind controls a third person, and then you mind controlling the person mind controlling the third person can solve the puzzle. So it gets like multi-layered that way. There are a lot of places where these lights here that are shining down, and you have to stay in the shadows or you get speared by the coiled whatever thing it is that makes you go limp. The capture device. Dogs, you have to outrun dogs several times. The submarine level was fun. You get this little pod submarine here, and you have to solve a bunch of puzzles going through the water, and occasionally get out of the submarine, open a valve, get back in, that sort of thing, which is fun. And you can also blast open some doors. You have a really short jet propulsion. You can smash into things and open them up. These little yellow boxes, I don't know what in the world they're meant to be. I mean, they're part of the puzzle, but I don't know as you can actually explain what the box itself is in any sense of the word. You stand on it, or you whatever, stand next to it, and you pull the handle, and there's a countdown, and then the box jets up just a little bit, like 10 or 15 feet or so. Like everything in the game up to that, you can sort of kind of explain in some way or another. This is just, it's literally just there as a piece of the puzzle. I can't imagine, it just doesn't make any sense at all to me. So you pull the handle and then it jets you up so that you can jump over here and then run over here and flip a switch or something. But like everything else in the game, I'm trying to make sense of and say, okay, well, this could be the story. Those things right there, they're just there. They're kind of like a Super Mario Brothers level of, it's there because it's there. It works in the game. But there are several puzzles where you have to do that. There are also puzzles where you have to stand on it, and there are puzzles where you can't stand on it because it goes further if you're not standing on it. The physics does actually work here. I mean, the more weight you have, the less force it's still putting the same amount of force, but there's more resistance because there's force downwards also. And you also have to keep in mind angles. If it's on a level surface, it goes straight up. If it's on an angled surface, it'll jet off to the side. So they did pretty good with that. Back to the submarine. Yeah, this was one of those weird things that kind of makes you go, okay, this is not just a dystopian, a government entity or conspiracy. These people are kidnapping adults everywhere. You get this, I don't know what it is, if it's meant to be like a mermaid or a siren or whatever, but it's a human-ish humanoid anyway, with super long hair, which I guess the long hair mostly is to make it easy to identify. And it doesn't like the light. And weirdly, you can't combat lock your hatch. So if I do this, it'll get in. Super strong. Like, these things can handle the freakish amount of depth here, but it can't handle this thing coming at you. Oh, I'm supposed to close the door first. And these little monsters, these little mermaid-type monsters, become a pretty significant plot element later on. Like, you literally can't finish the game without one. Weirdly, when you do that, your light comes back on a whole lot sooner than when you do this. So that's a fun part. Oh, this is one of those mind control places where there's a whole bunch of people all spread all over this area, this factory, and you have to go around and find every single person. So there's your mind control device right there. You have to go around and find every single zombified person and collect all of them together to progress to the next level. And they don't go with you to the next level. But the next level, then, this to me was the hardest part of the game. There's some sort of a blast, continuous blast, that you have to avoid. Right there. Where the blast is. Well, okay, we know where the blast is. Who knows where the blast is coming from or what the blast is coming from? Oh, yeah, that was too slow. Boom! Blast me away. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do there. Supposed to flip the lever and then run, I bet. So this part you have to time the cam there. The cam is going up and down, but you have to stop it and then time it so that you can go and jump on the ladder and go up. Too slow. I need that thing. I need that thing to guard me while I'm to block the blast while I'm going up. Not quite. Been a while since I did this part of the game here, so there you go. Got it. Go from there. I don't remember. Sorry for all those zombified people, but so whatever machine this is here, like we're basically at the level of alien invasion. It's pretty ridiculous. Oh, we're hinging at that point. Giant machines, and what are they doing? That didn't work. And we're through. So yeah, that part right there was the hardest for me to figure out when I first got to it. The figuring out the timing of everything. Let's see here. Here's one of those multiple, the thing where you pull the handle and it jets up a little bit. It's multiple level. The flooded area here. There's another one of those little mermaid siren underwater person things here. Okay, so spoiler alert. As I go through the next parts, if you don't want to know how the story progresses, then pause right here, because spoilers from here on out. Up to where that machine is doing the blasting thing, those massive blasts, it's like, okay, weird dystopian people hunting kids thing, whatever, every kid's nightmare. The mermaid thing, that's a little out there, but who knows what's going on there. And then you have the giant blasts, and you're like, okay, there is no force that mankind has ever created, no machine, I guess, not force, but no machine that man has ever created that could do something like that. It's got to be alien. We're like in the middle of an alien invasion or something. And then you come to this part. So right here, one of the little mermaid things, this is the spoiler, one of the little mermaid slash siren slash underwater person things gets to you and drags you all the way down, but it doesn't kill you. Like every other place in the entire game, you've been trying to avoid the thing, and if it gets to you, the game is over. Here, it gets to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't escape it, and the game isn't over. It gets to you, and it makes out with you, and then it swims off, and suddenly you can breathe water. So it's kind of it's like Splash, the old Tom Hanks, John Candy movie Splash, where the mermaid could make other people also breathe water. And so from here on out, you don't have a non-existent breath meter. Like your breath meter is when you start gagging and puffing out bubbles, that's when you know you're about to die. But from here on out, you don't have a breath meter. You can just stay underwater indefinitely. And there's a ton of the game at this point is all underwater, like right here. This is a particularly gruesome part. You can literally get chopped in half here in this machine. Now, so from here, well, more of those pods where they were imprisoning people at the very beginning. And then here's another weird part. Seriously weird part. Gravity is inverted, but only partially. Actually, that needs to be open for now. Gravity is only partially inverted. Some things are falling from the ceiling, or falling to the ceiling. I'm trying to figure out how to say that. But only some things. Get that off the rails there. Put it on this angle. And then duck. Don't get up there, it'll kill you. Here's that giant tank that you saw from the top in the previous checkpoint. More of those chambers, those pods. So yeah, right here, those are people hanging from these cables here, but they're hanging up, for lack of a better word. I don't know how to say that. There. And so once you get up into the water, there, these people are hanging up, because you're not falling down, you're falling up. Which is weird, but again, this is where I'm going, okay, so we're dealing with like an alien invasion or something. It's entirely possible that there isn't meant to be a storyline. They're just taking all sorts of these kind of random, spooky, crazy, weird elements and throwing them all together. So camera and a bunch of people there, and this isn't a hard one, but it's a longer puzzle. So we'll skip past that. Here's another part where multiple people here down in the down in the dry area below the water, checking on things. So you want to wait for them. It doesn't end well if you go down too early. Hi there. When they close the door, the water level goes down. Or maybe it doesn't. Oh, different level. Is this... Okay, this part... Nope, not this part. I think it is this part. This part, there's a... You're in like a warehouse. Oh, no. That was too far back. Yeah, I should have just stayed where I was. That part, you're in a warehouse and somebody comes in with a forklift to get a whole group of people. And the thing is, they're not kidnapping all of the kids because there's actually a kid there with the people who are going into the warehouse. I don't think this is actually the part here. No, this isn't the part that I was thinking of. So here's another place where you've got a bunch of people mind controlled. They're all following you around. You're not wearing a helmet at this point. Oh, here. This is the part that I was thinking of. So this was before, and then you open up and you come in here, and you've got all of these people with you, surrounding you, and then the door opens there, and a forklift comes in, and there's a bunch of people caged up, and the forklift grabs the cage and drives off, and there's a guy standing next to the forklift holding a little boy's hand, or girl, I don't know, either one, a kid, holding a kid's hand. So they're obviously not taking all of the kids, just most of them. Stop caressing me, perv. And everybody helps you jump over here. Now here's a hint that something's going on. All those people racing into that building there. And here, yeah, and after that, things get weird. They get even weirder than they already have been. But also hilariously weird. I was laughing so hard when this happened. So, final spoiler alert. You come in here and suddenly nobody cares. Like, there's nobody here, they're all gonna see you and they're all just gonna be like, oh look, it's a kid, big deal. Nobody's gonna say or do anything. And there's tons of adults hanging out all over the place in here. And they all look right at you, like you can walk up to them. Someone's going to come over here and trip on these stairs. Or not stairs, chairs. Trip on the chairs. And just ignore you. Oh, how spooky is this? Look, everybody is looking. Watch, and you just come and look, and everybody looks at you, and they're like, oh, yeah, whatever. And they continue looking in here. Nobody cares. So it's... oh, too far. Come on now. It's sort of like the mermaid thing. Like you spend so much time avoiding the mermaid, and then... a little too far. And then the mermaid gets you, and suddenly the mermaid getting you does not end the game. You spend the entire time avoiding the adults because adults are evil, and then now you're with a massive amount of them, a huge number of them, and they all can see you. And none of them even care. That big tank that everybody was staring into, we're gonna go check it out. Because that's what we do. Okay, so once you get into the tank, which is just, it's another one of those problem solving, you get shot up by a jet of water, and hilariously, the jet of water also strips off your shirt and pants and shoes. And so here you are, just buck-ass naked in front of all these staring people. You were just outside the window staring inside with all those people just before. And now, there they are, all staring at you. So, all of these little mind control devices on this big blob of whatever it is, I don't know what it's meant to be, but... and arms randomly reaching out and trying to catch you. And in you go. And you are now part of the blob. Which is just hilarious. And then for the rest of the game, you just move around as this gigantic blob, just annihilating everything in your path. Giant blob of previously human stuff. Stuff crashing through things. Me, buddy. Crunch. So yeah, and then like from that point on, you're the blob. And you're running around as a blob, doing blobbish things. Slithering over. You're in the dining room, I guess. I don't know. Cafeteria. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm not gonna save you, buddy. This whole thing is just... Let's see, and here we need a piece of lumber, as I recall. Like, look at this guy's body parts after you smashed him to pieces. Still flopping around. Okay, and then this part You have to balance this thing. Physics in action here. Bring it over to the side ever so slowly. Did I go too far there? Nope. Go away, dogs. Oh, still need the lumber. Like, the dogs don't actually do anything to you. I don't know why they're even here at this point. Slither up and over. Oh, there's a... We need to let a guy come open this there. Down we go. Slowly. So let's see. We get all the way to the end here. As the blob. And then here we go. And that's the end. And literally that's the end of the game right there. The human blob has made it into the single ray of sunshine, I guess, in the entire world right now. So I'm gonna go with some weird, crazy, funky alien invasion thing. I don't know what the deal is with the human blob. The mind control thing could make sense. The plague could make sense. The mermaid thing, mermaid, siren, whatever. Not really sure what that's all about. And then the blasting, the periodic blasts, that's not human. That can't be human. Has to be some sort of massively powerful alien device. And then the human blob here. So I'm going with alien invasion. That's what I think. But yeah, that's the end of the game. So it's a super fun game if you like platformers that are more puzzly than jumpy. There aren't a lot of places where you have to make difficult jumps, or there's no double jumping or anything like that. The platforming really is puzzles. It's like they're like physics puzzles that you have to figure out. And there are a ton of secret play. There are like 15 or something like that secret areas to find, and some of them are hard to find. Some of them are a lot easier than others. some of them are just freakishly hard to find. In order to get 100% achievements on Steam, I actually had to go to the internet, and I hate doing that. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I hate going to the internet. I don't do walkthroughs. I don't do cheat codes or anything like that. I hate that, because what's the point of even playing the game if you're just going to read a walkthrough and let the walkthrough do it for you? At that point, you're not playing the game is playing you. Paint by numbers is not painting. So I hate doing that, but I had a lot of the achievements, but not all of them, and I could not for the life of me find the last ones. And man, some of these secret areas, so all of the achievements are find a secret area, and there are, I think, 15 of them, so there are 15 secret areas that you have to find that are not obvious. And some of them are crazy. Like, there are 2 that I can think of just off the top of my head that are literally almost invisible. You can't even tell that there's a way to get where you need to go. You have to, like, accidentally find this secret place. It's like the old early 90s first-person shooters like Doom, where there's a secret door somewhere, and there was no indication of a secret door. You just had to run around the entire level, pressing randomly on every single wall section until you found the secret room. There's no hint anywhere as to where the secret room was. And to me, that's not entertaining. That's just long and boring and tedious. But, I mean, you can complete the game. Like, this is one ending right here. And if you find all of the secret rooms, every single one, which I would go so far as to say are almost impossible to find without a walkthrough, without some kind of a hint. I don't personally believe, and I have no evidence for this, I'm just using my own experience, I don't believe that anybody actually found all of these secret areas on their own without hints. They had to have been given hints by the developers, because some of these are that secret that you couldn't possibly have found this. I wouldn't believe it. But if you find all of the secret areas, then there is an ending that does not involve becoming a blob and demolishing the entire facility and then escaping into the ray of sunshine. If you find all the secret things, you actually stay a little boy or a little girl, whichever one you are. But don't count on finding all of the secrets yourself. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have to look it up. I feel pretty confident saying that. Anyway, I did very much enjoy the game. It was definitely one. It ended up in my completionist list. It was one that I had a lot of fun with, and my hint that it was a good game, for me anyway, was after I filmed the first play video, I went back and I continued playing the game for hours and hours that same day. I played it for like another 3 or 4 hours that same day. So in total, the game took me 8.3 hours to complete. So I would say for the average person, because I'm no amazing gamer at all. I'm not very talented. I'm just some old busted bald gray-haired dude. Balding anyway, and I'm not a huge gamer, so if I can do it in 8.3 hours according to the Steam statistics, then my guess is that it's about 8 hours of content. And if you're a super good gamer, especially a platformer, a puzzler, then you might be able to clear it in 6 or 7 hours. Probably no faster than that, simply because there's a limit to how fast the character can move. But you'll be able to solve some of the puzzles faster than I did, because I'm just not a crazy huge gamer. My son calls me a boomer gamer, which is hilarious because I'm not a boomer. My dad is a boomer, but whatever. I mess with my son all the time. regarding video games, like he's trying to teach me video game speak, and he keeps trying to tell me to use the word pogger. I have to use the word pogger. So I say, okay, that's poggerific, and he says, no, that's not the way it's supposed to be said. And I said, pogalicious? No, no. This is how I troll my son. So anyway, that's Inside. If you like puzzly platformers, and you're okay with it being a little bit creepy, then definitely try it on Steam. 8 hours, I would say about 8 hours of gameplay. You'll clear it in a weekend. Maybe a day, but you'd be marathoning it that day. Definitely worth checking out.